we made a bet 8 years ago. We said, you know what? If we just focus on operating the schools, the students will come. And then we relied on that. And instead of spending at that point, I think it was close to $160,000 in ad that we're spending, we slimmed it down to what you see now. It's less than 10,000. Welcome, everybody. We're excited to jump off summer camp. And so I just want to formally just go ahead and introduce my guest today. Here we have Minh Wilson. Very exciting to have Minh. Minh is the CEO and owner of InCourage Martial Arts. Recently became a partner of ours. So officially being an owner of InCourage Martial Arts now, which is big. So congratulations, Minh. Yeah, I guess this is the official announcement, but she's been CEO and doing well for quite a number of years here. Minh is also currently enrolled in Harvard Business School. She is in the 66th class of the Owner President program, which is the most prestigious program that you can be in at Harvard Business School. It is only designed for entrepreneurs who are running companies with at least 30 million or more in revenues and assets. She's going to bring a lot of her experience into here with us as well. She is amazingly a mother of 3 young children, ages 11 and below, and of course is running the whole InCourage studio for us. So Minh, welcome to the program. Happy to have you.
It is such an honor to be here. I am so passionate about martial arts and about running martial arts businesses. So thank you, everyone. I know how busy you guys must be to just take the time to come on this webinar. I hope that we can provide some really good details and data to just really help you jump into your summer camp sales or really optimize them. Thanks for having me in my studio.
Minh is also my younger sister, for those of you guys don't know. So So this makes the two companies work quite well together. Let's talk about InCourage, right? Obviously, you're the CEO, operating this with our team. You guys know I am fully involved at MyStudio here, so I trust Minh and our team with everything at InCourage. And ever since I've kind of left that post of fully operating 8 years ago, more so on the chairman mode now, but not really operations mode. My wife and I, Lynette, co-founder of MyStudio, we are still full owners as well, along with Minh at InCourage. So it's very much forefront and in front of our mind. But from an operating standpoint, Minh and the team is actively running this. Okay, let's take a look at some of these numbers here. Minh, stop me if I missed anything here. Maybe you can tell us here. We have 5 company-owned locations. Where are we located, Minh?
We're located in Northern Virginia, so about 30 minutes outside of Washington, D.C.
And which cities are these locations in Northern Virginia?
We're in Loudoun and Fairfax counties. I'm not sure if any of you guys have had the opportunity to come, or maybe some of your schools are here, but it's a really special bubble that we live in. So we're very guarded by the government. We're very lucky that we are close to Washington, D.C., a lot of contractors, government jobs, stability. Loudoun County is the richest county in the United States. Fairfax County is in the top 10 as well. So we are in a more affluent demographic here.
So take that in consideration as we are doing our pricing, right, at InCourage, as you look into this. I wanted to highlight that because we have people from all over the country, all over the world, and come into this. The rent that we pay at each InCourage studio ranges from about $14,000 to $23,000 per month in rent for studio spaces that are 2,400 square foot to about 5,000. So it's a little bit more expensive in this area, a lot more expensive in this area compared to maybe where you're from. Okay. So we did 5.5 million in gross sales this past year as we looked at it. So averaging each of these units is 1.1 million in sales. Congratulations, Minh. I think that's the highest we've ever done at our team. Is that correct?
That is correct.
All right. Awesome. And all of that with 30% net and with both Minh and I, owners of InCourage, offset. So our team is running that. We're offsite owners. We have operators that run that. We're still able to pull in 30% net at those locations, which is great. And this is exciting. Minh has really been pushing for a 6th location, and I think she's not going to let me go until we open one in 2026. So that is coming soon. Yeah.
Yes.
So we're in that preliminary process now. So let's talk about these affiliate schools. We have our company-owned location. We have 20 plus affiliates. Some of who are in the UMAC, United Martial Arts Centers in New York and in Karate America. You guys know the studios down there. Who are they? What do they do? And why do we have these InCourage affiliates? What are they?
Yes, these are martial arts school owners. They're running programs like summer camp, after school. And so we paired with our affiliate partners. It's just we align in culture and values, and we pair with them in order to just come in, support, and really take off the operational headache so that they can focus on what really matters most, which is their students. And, when we focus on what matters most in that relationship building, what happens is we retain students, we get new students, and our gross revenue goes up. And then we get really good at educating them on the business side and partnering with them to understand, hey, how do we get more net? How do we get a better pricing strategy on our martial arts? And how do we start to automate things so that we are able to have more time in our life to live outside of our businesses?
And you work with some big name players out there. Karate America, Grandmaster Bill Clark, we know that. He runs about 15, 16 schools in South Florida. You got Master Grand Ed Sirfella in New York with his 5 locations, et cetera. So these are not, just single operators. They're big operators who are running on their InCourage systems. And that speaks a lot to you and the team. Congratulations. I want to give that business background just so that we know who Minh is and what she's doing at the InCourage studios and why she's coming in, why I invited her to this particular seminar to kind of give us really good insights about summer camps specifically. Let's dive into that main subject now. It's about selling summer camp. It's about marketing summer camps. And let's take a look at the numbers so far. We've already been selling summer camps at InCourage. When did we start selling camps for this year's summer camp, Minh?
We started selling July 2025. So while we were operating summer camp last summer, we released our first tier of our pre-sale for this coming summer.
And this is kind of like really out there and a strategy that we've built. How much money did we spend on Google, Facebook ad all of 2025 or any ad anywhere else, Minh? 5 schools.
It was, I don't know the exact amount, but I do know it was less than 1% of our total gross revenue. Way less than 1%.
I think it was about $13,000 to $14,000 total.
Yes. And 5.5 million comparative.
Yeah. So we spent in total across our 5 schools about $13,000 to $14,000 in ads, Facebook, Google, other ads. The majority of the marketing and new summer camp students and students overall, after school or students that come in are from word of mouth. So operations is huge for us. We made a bet 8 years ago. We said, you know what? If we just focus on operating the schools, the students will come, word of mouth will come. And then we relied on that. And instead of spending at that point, I think it was close to $160,000 in ad that we're spending, we slimmed it down to what you see now. It's less than 10,000. And that's the main reason why we start selling summer camps in July, because we understand that if kids are at camp and we're operating it well, we bet that it would sell. Is that correct, Minh? Was that the intention of why you were pushing to sell so early? I know I was a little bit against it, but I think you really want to go ahead with that.
Well, I think capture them while they're hot. So this is a way for us. They're already in camps. They're having an incredible time. So we said strategically, hey, we're going to release a certain percentage. It's not like an unlimited release, but also our summer months, if you guys operate summer camp, it is our highest expense month. We're open longer. We need more team members. There's more holds happening in the summer because people are.
So we needed some extra cash.
So guys, we needed, let's be real, we're business owners. We needed the moolah to cover us and to give us a good cushion going into the fall. But with that being said, we're very strategic on how much we release and how much we allow. And the people that come to our summer camps, like the ones that are there, we're going to give them the best pricing. And we want to create that value because they know how much our camps cost at full price. So when they see, hey, they're giving me this value to sign up early. I know my kids are at least going to come, 3 or 4 weeks next year. I want to lock this in. Why not?
Okay. And we're going to go into how much we discount and what do we do in a second here. But traditionally, you guys are like, damn, did I miss the boat? It's January. Traditionally, we have only released camp in January in the past. Okay. So the fact that we're running this now gives you plenty of time. I know our account manager at MyStudio. This is a big thing at MyStudio. Now, each one of you who are here, who is a MyStudio member, you have a dedicated account manager. They are going to reach out to you right after this webinar to help you set up camp if you have not done so for sale immediately. Okay. You can book time with them on that. So that's something that's very different. You have a go-to person in MyStudio that can help you handle that. So we released this thing in July. Let's take a look at some of the numbers that you just gave me. So right here, numbers of weeks sold to date. 1,744 weeks across the 5 locations. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And what is the goal? How many total weeks do we want to sell at the 5 location?
Across our 5 locations, we need to sell 3,145 total weeks of camp. Our goal is to average at least $345 per week, which will result in $1,094,408 in camp revenue. I know this is very specific.
So I want to stop Minh real quick right there. Okay, what you guys are hearing is this is not a supplement product at InCourage. $1 million in revenue is not anything supplement. It is one of our core programs. How we plan for it, how we execute it, how we train our staff. We look at this as its own business line. It is a line item on our profit and loss sheet. We track it year over year. We track to see returning camp numbers. So we do a lot of things in here because when you reach $1 million in any business entity, it becomes a really viable business. 5.5 million, 1 million of it coming from camps, right? Above and beyond that, how many of those 1 million do you think convert into after school student? How many of those $1 million that was not martial arts students before convert into martial arts? So it is worth a lot more than $1 million as we look at this. And we're doing all of this at a time when most people go on break, and it's historically the lowest revenue months for martial arts. Okay. So if you have not considered running camps and you're hearing like, should I do it again? Should I not? We are not here advising you what to do. We are just simply telling you this is what we do at InCourage. This is a business for us. It is not an add-on. It's not a plug-in. It is a legitimate business. Okay. So Minh just said how much you need, 3,000 something for that. So we're looking at 55% of summer camp weeks already sold to date. Is that correct, Minh?
That is correct. And that is also on target for our goals. So by January, our goal is 50% of camps for this coming summer have already been sold. And most of those, or actually all of those 55%, a large majority, I would say, because you have siblings that are now old enough and they'll sign on early, but most of them are returning campers. Our strategy now, starting January, is we say new blood. So we are targeting brand new campers and that's kind of how we staggered.
So you just heard the first biggest strategy there, yeah? We broke this into 2 parts. You have your returning campers. This is your what we call retention revenue. This is revenue that should be in the bag for you if you operate it really well. The number of people that return, that buy camp again from you, and hopefully at a higher number of weeks compared to last year, tells you how well you did in camp last year. What our locations are doing now is say, great, we've already marketed to all the existing members. We're gonna focus on new blood now. So that really allows your strategy to focus on current customers and a clear strategy and time frame to focus on new, so that the whole team is focused on that. So that's really cool. Thank you for sharing that. Total camp revenues. Again, Minh says she wants to make $1 million at camp. We've already put in the bank $563,000. Okay. This is big. Think about that. This is revenue that if I was going to go out and borrow $500,000 from a bank, I would have to pay major interest for 6 months, right? From now until summer camp starts. This money allows our team to start investing right now. Okay. We're not buying Ferraris. We're not buying big houses. We don't do that at InCourage in MyStudio. You guys know that about us. We're very conservative. We take that revenue and we actually start to plan our team. Who gets raises? Who should get some bonuses out? What do we do at facility to improve? Can we add more money into the summer camps and activities and the guests that we bring into summer camp? That's what that money is used for and allows us to invest in that. Okay. Or you can just put that money into a money market account and it's making you decent money, going to summer as you're doing that. I'm going to swap real quick, right, to quickly go into how we set up camp in MyStudio, particularly how InCourage had set up camps inside of MyStudio real quick here to give you a peek. If you already set this up, if you haven't, this may give you maybe a groundwork for that. And Minh, I'm going to lean on you a little bit here. So as you're setting this up in MyStudio, can you take me through how we're setting this up? Is it a single location? Is it a multiple? How do you set this up in MyStudio here?
Sure. We set it up as a multi-event, right? So it is overall arching. You can see Summer Camp 2026. Once they click onto it, it will break out by the weeks.
Yeah. And so it looks like this.
Correct.
Right? So now you can have inside that particular. So here is the detail section of the event when you put multi-location on. We are putting this down into a week. A lot of you guys may have already know this. I'm just making sure that everyone is on the same page that we start. I'll go over all of those little themes in a second. why we do that, why it's so big for sales in a second, okay? So don't worry about taking screenshots and stuff like that. We'll have all that for you. I want to show you what this camp registration page looks like at InCourage. If you want to set it up right so that it's very appealing, I use Target as a big example because my wife loves Target. She also likes like Nordstrom. When you walk into Target or Nordstrom, there's a particular smell that particularly captures the motivation for a millennial mom, I would call it, ages 30 to 50, right? Somewhere around there. It just smells right. It's clean. And right away they understand, hey, this is a safe place where I want to transact, when I want to buy. You want your web page, your martial arts studio, your landing page, the way the uniform looks, the way your school smell, everything to capture for us camps right now, right? When you go into this page, it should be everything about kids. So right away, you kind of see the bubbly font that Minh is using. I don't want to speak for our marketing team, but maybe you can take us through, why did you design it that way, Minh? And I'm going to click this video in a second here.
When we design anything from flyers to operational plans to marketing, the first thing our team thinks about is who is our customer? Who is the customer? And then who is our end? Like, who is actually coming? We know that in summer camp, one is the parent, one is the kid. We have to capture the kids, right? So you see the bubbly font. These are actual pictures just to make it very authentic to InCourage. This is from summer camp.
No stock photos.
No, not for this.
Don't be lazy about that. Your clients will know if you're using a stock photo that is everywhere compared to like real photos. That's authenticity and that's trust. It creates trust inside a customer's brain.
Yes. And if I'm a mom, as Tu said, I have 3 young kids. So the first thing I look for is I want to see something that's authentic, something that is clean. I want to be able to get the information without talking to anybody.
What makes summer camp the most fun for me is every week is
No, I'm
not
just showing you the
same.
video.
There's a lot of fun field trips that I go with my friends and have
You're hearing it from
fun.
the kids.
Have a lot of fun in
You're seeing the
games
studio.
and seminars, helping out with the kids and doing crafts and seminar. We do carnival themed games, we do art themed games and stuff like that. It's really fun to do that here.
I want to show this real quick, Minh, and before we go back to here, everything that you're talking about. When a parents click on that studio, it just feels right.
Yes.
And that video is probably 15 years old. We may need to redo that video soon.
We need to update. That's on our deck to update, but it's still a great video. People love it. And it still captures the essence of what we do at InCourage Summer Camp. It's not, you might think they're going to do martial arts all day long, but then they see, hey, we're out at a farm. They're, playing games, they're making friends. So how do you capture that? And it's very important that we know who our customer is. And as a mom, I am the avatar that we are searching for. I am the avatar. So I am busy. I don't want to have to search through things. I want to be able to click. If I like it, I want to be able to buy. And that's really something that's been so powerful since MyStudio has launched is we have gotten sales in without even talking to anybody. They look at our reviews. They look at how little friction it takes for them to actually register, and they do it. And then what does our team do? We just focus on that relationship, calling them, welcoming them. 2, if you go down, it kind of gives you the themes that you see. It also gives you the time. If you click on one of the view more, click any one of those. Yeah. Then, mystical map, Volcano Island. So these are all the themes. And if you go down,
Paul and Claude. I wanted to see Paul and Claude.
Paul
You want the picture from that? Warrior Chef.
Oh no, where are they? But yeah, our team recently updated these, so maybe they haven't hit yet. But it just makes it really fun. It gives a little bit of a snippet as well. And if you scroll down, it might show you what field trips we're going to be going on. So
wait a minute. And I know this, but I'm speaking from our user standpoint, right? How do you know what field trips I'm going on already and what camp themes and all of this? Like, when has this been formulated? Like, how's that possible? It's January.
You guys, we never stop working on summer camp. That's how it's possible. Again, Tu said this is not just a side event for us. We are working on the operations, the marketing. We get feedback from the kids and our team members during camp. So we'll do a survey to every camper to say, what did they love? What did your kids love? What do you want to see more of? What field trips do you not want to go back on? What field trips do we have to register for? And then we do the same thing with our team members on an operational standpoint on what was what can be updated to make things
And
more.
I don't want to go too deep into that, but the point is we have all of this ready, working on next year's summer camp as we're running last year's summer camp. So in June, is that correct, Min? It is a 12-month operating program. The reason why I stopped, Min, to see how popular this webinar's got, and I know there's going to be a lot of questions, and I know we have so limited time left. We are doing another webinar just on summer camp planning and preparation. Today's all about sales. But going back to here, as you are setting this up, one of the sales strategy that we do, so here I just selected 5 weeks, okay?
Yeah.
I recommend for you to do this if you're going to sell it in January, for sure. Typically, we do 3 weeks or more or over a certain amount to have a payment plan. So you have a paid in full where they get a certain discount if they paid in full, or we select the set that if you pay the total amount is X amount of weeks or X amount of dollars, you allow them to do the payment plan. So you see here, we collect $199 only, and then the rest of the payment is due in June and July. So to Min's point, summertime is where we don't get a lot of income that comes in. This is one way to do that, where people don't have to put in $2,000 right now unless they want to. They can just pay $199 and then it's secured weeks for them.
Too, and I'll just insert, since we're talking pricing strategy, from a customer standpoint, some might want the discount, others might want the flexibility in payments. So we try to not just say, hey, this is only one way. We want to make it dependent on, hey, what's best for the customer. The other thing is, we make more on the payment plan because the average cost per week is higher, right? We give a little discount if they want to pay in full. So the average week that what we're getting for that from them is lower. And I told you that we have a very specific average week that we need to hit, which across the board is $345 a week. So more people that use the payment plan, it just pushes that revenue up.
Okay, so let's take a look at where they are as far as sales in one of the studio right now, as far as setup here. Okay, so if you take a look at this, I'm in V2 of MyStudio. If you guys are not using this, I highly recommend for you to do this, right? So I'm breaking this down by events. You can see events mostly a summer camp. So here, we're selling quite a bit, over year in summer camp at this particular school. And we've been growing in revenue in that, right? 211,000 last year. And here you see in August, we started selling, right? About 11,000 already here. And every month since, we've been increasing in camps. So already in January, about 3,000 in events in doing that. So if we talk about selling early, does it work? The answer is yes, it does. What it does for a parent, at least for me, and the study that we've done, is that if I have not signed up for my kids for summer camp yet, I am more privy to every single ad that is out there when someone push up summer camp. If I've already scheduled, even if I put $199 down there at InCourage, I see a summer camp ad, it doesn't even hit me because I'm already set, even though it's so far away. So Min, help me to understand this. Why would I put thousands of dollars down in July if a lot of things can happen in life all the way up to next July and August? What guarantees are there for me as a client should life happen? What do we do to encourage?
Absolutely. We don't like to lock anyone in, just like our memberships, right? We have a written notice that if they decide, hey, life happens and they just can't continue with us. So with our summer camps, the reason why they would sign up in July is this is the best savings all year. They have to pay in full for that. It's the best savings. They know their kid's going to come back, and they will sign up for the minimum amount of weeks that they know their kids will be there. So let's say 5 weeks out of the summer, they know they want their kid at InCourage. They register, but they also have the peace of mind to know that, hey, they can cancel and get a full refund before April 1st of the following year. So should plans change or should anything happen, as long as they give us the notice by April 1st, we refund them fully for whatever they have paid, 2 or 3% credit card fee.
Because we pass that on, et cetera. So cancellation available all the way up to April 1st. So I'm locking in the savings, right? I paid you $2,000 maybe for 8 weeks of camps. And then March 15th, I say, I want to cancel. What do you do, Min? I say, let's pretend, let's role play. I say, Master Min, I just can't do it. My family is moving, or Joey just decided I want to do camp. I need to cancel.
Well, those are 2 very different scenarios you gave me. So let's pick one.
Or doesn't want to come to camp.
Okay, there you go. I'm so sorry to hear that too. I know we had a blast with Joey last summer. May I ask, what is the reason why he doesn't want to return?
Like he just didn't get along with some of his friends in there, and he felt like the day was long. He's 5 years old.
Okay, well, I would love to show you our field trip calendar. We have some new exciting things. I know Joey really loved Urban Air. We're going 2 more times
Okay.
this summer.
All right. You guys can see Minh and the team is really good at this stuff, right? Okay. She's just not there. But let's say I need to cancel. What happens? Say you did all your things and you're like, all right, I just need to cancel, Master Minh.
Mr. Le, I understand. We can definitely process a cancellation for you. Or if you're able to, we can process a credit for you to use at a future time. Which one would be best for you?
I just want to get a refund.
Sure.
Okay. So you refund them.
Yes.
Cancel, refund, quick in MyStudio.
And the reason why we do that is because our camps are going to fail. So I don't want to sound, cocky, but what happens is we have cancellations. We do. I'm not going to say there's zero cancellation. Things like this are very real. It happens. Plans change. Kids don't want to come. So we refund. But what we've found is at the end of the summer, those weeks got picked up and at a higher price because we're selling it closer to the summer or by new first-time campers, right? So whatever the scenario, even though we do have some cancellations come in, as long as we are filling too full at the end of the summer, which we track, that's what we're focused on.
Okay. So let's talk about pricing strategy, right? We know there's certain weeks I posted on Facebook. I know there's certain weeks that don't sell as much, 4th of July. And we know there's weeks that are always filling, which is the last weeks of August before school starts, and then the first week of summer, as parents are struggling to get their vacation plans together. How do you do that pricing and how do you discount those weeks? And do you price every week the same cost?
This is a great question. We used to, and then two challenged us to think differently, like the airplane model, right? So if, let's say United, if the plane is full and there's only a few seats left and there's still time to take that plane ride, it's going to be expensive, right? If the plane is only 50% full and they're trying to fill those seats and it's in a week, it's going to be discounted, right? So for us, I will, if it's okay with you, I'd like to share my screen, to show the pricing strategy. It's a lot of numbers, so it might be confusing, but I'm going to just break it down. I'm going to point out, so these are our locations here, right? We have Broadlands, Ashland, Burke. These are our 5 InCourage locations. This is what we determine first, right up top, right? What is our average? What's our goal for average that we want to sell, hit? And how many weeks do we have to sell? It differs at every location because one location is our Broadlands location here is 2,400 square feet. They can't accommodate up to 100 campers a week like our Burke location, right? So you can see their capacity is 495 weeks. Our Burke capacity is 855 weeks. So that's the first thing you guys have to determine on your metric is what is your goal? What can you sell? The next thing you can see is it's different dependent on the location. I'm not saying, hey, you guys, everybody has to sell at $360 a week average. It's dependent on what they did the year before. What we're trying to do is each summer, this average price per week needs to be higher than what they did the year before, right? Just with inflation, with cost, all of the things.
So I'm seeing a different number for every school. Why is that?
For which category?
Revenue per week goal, right? Burke is at 360.
Right.
Ashburn's at 335. Percival, 319.
Yes. So this is based on how they did the year before. So we have all these numbers based on, hey, what's our pre-sale numbers from last year, from 2024, 2 years ago? What did we do in 2025, right? So we take all of these numbers and we determine, hey, what did we hit? So if you ask, last year, Burke was at 360, right? So they're trying to hit 360 again, because this location is pretty much at cap. And then you have Percival.
This is our location that does 1.5 million. So they're looking at, yeah.
So here's where a lot of people come and ask, what should I sell my week for? What should I do? And they're asking these questions. You have to know the data on your location. I think somebody said, I'm from a small town, right? One of our affiliates, they're from Virginia, but way south of us, right outside
Richmond, Virginia.
Right? Her target goal is $280 a week. It's not going to be 360 because if she's pricing it at trying to shoot for that, she's not going to fill, and she's way out pricing. So you really have to know, again, the data to set the goals. But this is kind of how we set things, how we tier, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tier our releases. What are the results of it? And here's the thing, guys. We come up with the marketing plan, but it's fluid, it's flexible, just like the airline model. If we're way above, that means demand is high, supply is low. Guess what? Our price is going to go higher. If our supply is high and our demand is low, that has to drop. So our team knows there's a metric and
giving us 12 months, technically 11 if you sell in July and we start in June, gives us 11 months to really make sure that we hone in our pricing. You have to keep track of data, that's what Minh is saying, to see what you did last year compared to now. And yes, the numbers are going to tell you how we did. MyStudio is really easy to pull up all the members to do that. But let's swap real quick to how do new people sign up for summer camps at MyStudio. So I did a little bit of tests here. I went to the InCourage website. For those of you guys that have MyStudio Website Pro, this may look really familiar to you because this is one of, I would say, what we use that's like a model to be like, I want to make sure that our website is good as this because we put a lot of work, Minh and InCourage team, on this particular website. And one of the things they did, right, that we actually really love was this particular chat button here, where people will put in their name and they'll select the location. They'll say Fairfax and they'll say, hey, summer camp, for example. Immediately, if our team is out, who is answering these messages? Minh, are you doing that or who's doing that? The masters?
There's a wonderful thing on MyStudio called Amplify, guys. If you're not using it, I would definitely recommend checking it out. It has enrolled, camp weeks for us. It's enrolled trials for us. So it was our idea just to say.
So I'm sorry, Minh. Tell the Fairfax location. Jason Lee is actually me in here, okay? I was testing it like right before 37 minutes ago and just see how did it sell? How does InCourage do this? Because I'm not sure. So here I came in, hey, I'm interested in summer camp. So I went to our website. I did this. I said, Jason Lee. I put my model number in. I put Fairfax. I put summer camp. I get in touch. Right away, I got this message, right? And Minh and the team crafted this, okay? And you see InCourage just won summer camp from Northern Virginia 5 years in a row. We will show you the reason why in a second for that. And I say, hey, I'm just looking for information on camp weeks for the month of August. Amplify immediately pulls up all of these things here, which week the price is, which week do you consider? And I'm considering I have some concern, 5-year-old daughter who has never done martial arts. Awesome. Summer camps for age 5 and 12 and no priors needed. Each week is a full Monday drop off, high level information here. Or if you paid in full, right? With the discount. In August, we offer these weeks with the actual, description of the week. Which week is best? Week 9. Great. The arena. Game week's great. Allow us to get a signed up date of birth and it sends you the link to do that. So even if you're not available, you want to make sure you have your website set up to take registration for people to see it. Or if they have questions, have that. That's the first thing in sales. Automate the things. The ability to use AI that we have now to help you when you're not available or when your team is not available. We make this very predictable in doing that. How often do we train our team in sales pitchment for summer camp or anything? Like how often do you meet with the team to be like, hey, we're going to go over sales, scripts?
I have not done that in probably 12 months, guys. We don't train on actual scripts. We train on communication. So body language, tonality, and really most of our time, 80% of our time is just focused on our product, meaning running high level programs in summer camp, after school martial arts classes, which is that relational connection with the students.
How much are you afraid of the competitor across the street from you going on to Amplify or going on your website, which has all the information and copying your stuff?
Well, I'm looking at Eric Kwan right now, who is my competitor. So I really, we are really confident in our product and we know our market well. We know that, hey, we're really pulling from a 3-mile radius. So unless Eric comes within a 3-mile radius of InCourage, I'm not really too worried about it because we're so densely populated here and there's so many opportunities for martial arts schools to be successful. And the more successful he is, and the more people hear how great martial art is, the more better that you guys do, It's great overall for the martial arts industry because we're not competing with one another, guys. We're competing with gymnastics, soccer, football, right? These are youth sports and activities, and there's so much of it.
And it all comes to execution anyway. So I hear a lot of people being afraid of like, you are losing more money if you are gating. And we have data. And I've always noticed in my gut, but now we have data in MyStudio across close to 3,000 studios that we work with. If you gate your website, meaning if your website is saying, put in information, then I'll give you, someone will call back to you. You are losing more sales than the person that is maybe across the street from you who is saying, click this button, and start for your trial. And that's what we do. If you look at our website and you don't have Website Pro, talk to your account managers about that. It will really change your 2026 registration. We see that with InCourage here. So from here, let's say if they want to go to summer camp and they're interested in looking at summer camp, like I click book camp, I click Fairfax, right away, this comes up for me right there. I can click on it, I can go. So it's so frictionless for me to go from website to registration without having to talk to anybody. And that's what our target demographic is now. They don't want to talk to people. They want to get information and make the best educated decision for themselves without having to talk to a salesperson per se. If your website is not as frictionless as InCourage is, I guarantee you we will beat you in sales. I don't care how much you train your team on sales scripts, all of that, you've already lost the trust factor right at the start, which is the most important thing to customers. Let's talk about, you say you don't train at all our team and you focus on operations. Let's say I am one of your affiliates, or I'm thinking about, hey, you know what, this affiliate program, I know you're not accepting affiliates, but let's say I'm interested in wanting to encourage out. Let's say I'm one at a location, I'm at Fairfax. What are you giving me? I'm Master Tay running that. What are you taking off my plate? Can you show me some of the things? How do you and the team spend? Why would you need to spend 12 months or 10 months to give me plans to run summer camp? Why does it take that long?
Well, let me start off by first saying I've been in your shoes. I was 19 when I had the opportunity to open up my own school and doing everything, right? There was no systems in place, a million things everybody has to do. And the most important thing is to be with the students. We don't have time to make a marketing flyer. We don't have time to go into our MyStudio and create an event. So from that lens, our team, we sat down and said, what can we take off? What can we take off our locations and our instructors so that they can really do the most important job? Creating new students and keeping our current students, right? And how does that work is they have to have that relationship with them. They have to love what they're doing and really have a high quality program. Coming from that lens, these are some of the things that we created. If you guys think of marketing, everything in terms of marketing, we take off of them. So this is an example. This is our summer camp. This is a flyer. It's made from our team. We also do the pricing strategy with each of the locations, the data collection, our field trip calendar. So imagine us giving this to you, saying, here's your field trip calendar, right? This is, and here.
Already planned for it. You've already called and did the pricing.
Already planned, pricing's done. Here's the QR code. Here's the bit.ly link. And that this is what you can send to anybody who's interested or have up at your schools. So that's one. And that's, flyers, it takes time to make them look pretty, to create them. Here is where we get really good. It's all the operational planning, right? So this is Spellbound Academy. So imagine this is what you're getting. Hey, here are your decorations for Spellbound Academy. By the way, you don't have this, click here. You could add it to your Amazon carts. But we decorate our locations, and it changes on a monthly basis during the school year. It changes during a weekly basis during the summer based on whatever week it is. Then we have, hey, these are the trophies and medals we're giving out. This is the awards that we're prepping for our campers. By the way, every single mat chat that we're doing, character development, it all connects to Spellbound Academy. Welcome to
that whole week. So that whole week of summer camp.
Yes.
Right? From decorations, from mat chats, from games, from everything. It's carefully just even arts and crafts, I believe, is all here. So all the games that you're seeing here. Oh, okay, there's the crafts.
Yes, featured games. We even add in hey, in the activity room, sometimes if they're done with their snack or if they're just waiting, these are some things you can do, minute to win it games. All of these little things take that off of your team member shoulder. I'm like, man, what do I do? What do I do? No, hey, this is what you do. Now just have fun doing it. Execute this at a really high level. This is why our camps sell, because kids come home happy. Parents see they're getting awards. They're bringing home crafts. They're talking about what they're doing, how fun the seminar was, the field trip, popsicles at the park. All of this goes together in an operational plan for our team, themed by every week. And then on top of that, you can see these are what parents get. Hey, don't forget to sign your waiver. This is our welcome packet for camp. Hey, what are they doing? What does it look like? Tips for a successful summer, our field trip calendars. All of these things go into play. And then, of course, new camper specials. We know exactly who is coming to camps.
We want them to buy more camps.
Exactly. And what do we want them to buy? After school, martial arts, birthday parties. So we're very strategic. They're there, they're having a good time, but we know who our leads are that we need to get onto memberships.
Nancy was just asking me about that. It was really funny because Minh and I talked about, do we keep everything that we do to ourselves, or do we kind of actually help people with this? And so this is the first time we're making these proprietary system really available at scale. And I'm going to show you this, okay? I kind of have to pry Minh a little bit to have her agree to this. But you're looking at what we call the InCourage operating system. This is not something that we created to sell or to consult. We don't do consulting. This is not a consulting program. If you come to us for consulting, this is not it. These are actually not theory. This is what our team uses every day to run our program. Summer camp and this, so they're already creating this for the schools. We're just letting you have a part of that plan. This is about 20 years of IP and intellectual property that we're dropping here to this. You're getting all of these information here, and I'll go into details into what it is a little bit more. It comes from operational. It doesn't matter if you do jujitsu or something else. As long as you work with children, I think our program is the best fit. But Minh, maybe you have it. Maybe you can answer that more proper than I can.
Yes, we used to have an InCourage systems coaching program. I see Master Barb Kunkel on here. Master Kunkel, good to see you. I miss you. But we, for us, we just had to refocus on growing our schools and our internal playbook. And Tu and I and Lynette were talking, and we were just saying, hey, what can we do? Because we're really passionate about elevating our industry, the martial arts industry. And I know that not many schools have the support system that we do at InCourage. It's taken us 20 years to build this system of what you're seeing, these plans, these marketing materials, the pricing strategy, the data collection. So we said, what can we do now for 2026 that would really help martial arts school owners? And I said, why don't we package our plans? We want to be able to share this, to give any way for you guys to really be able to focus on your students and to give better quality, because that will result in more revenue. And how do I know that? Because we've done this with our affiliates. We've done this with our coaching program, where we've taken off the stress of planning, marketing, communications with your parents, and we've seen the revenues grow. But there's also a lot of intangibles as well, as we're seeing people have more time, be able to vacation, have more opportunities have more revenue to give more opportunities to team members that really want to build a career from it. So that's one of our passions. If this can help you, please join us.
This is really important for us. As you are selling summer camp, first thing, make sure we have set it up right. Second, I recommend selling right now. How much discount should they give, Minh? How much discount do we give when we first release it?
It is the best price. So I would say what you're willing to discount it the most at is where you start it. And then how many weeks are you willing to release?
Why is the number of weeks willing to release important?
Because if you release too much at a lower price, your average price per week of camp is low, and you're not going to be able to hit your overall rate.
So let's say I do 20 kids per week and I have 10 weeks of summer camp. That gives me 200 weeks total, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. You can also limit it by weeks too. You can say this price is only available for 5 people in week 1, or 10 people in week 4. You can do that as well. And the reason for that is it drives like scarcity big time. So in July, when we release this, we do our marketing. And again, within InCourage Operational System Program, you get all the email templates, all the flyers and everything that leads up to it. We actually tease it. We say, hey guys, summer camp is going to drop. You're going to get the best price. This is happening on Monday at 9 a.m. You want to have like the Taylor Swift concert ticket drop effect. And you're going to only say, hey, there's only 50 of them. At first, people won't believe you. They won't. Okay. But you set it in MyStudio. And then what we saw is that it sold out and people came like, hey, Master Minh, I can't buy for summer camp anymore. And you tell them, oh, I apologize. Unfortunately, it's sold out.
Two, I'd like to show this. Do you guys see this here? We released 75 weeks. It sold out in 1 hour, sold out in 6 minutes, sold out in 20 minutes, sold out in 2 hours, 45 minutes, 9 minutes. So we were very intentional in tracking this and how much we release. We tear it up and it said sold out in 20 minutes.
You want to create that scarcity effect because the moment when somebody try to buy it, but it's sold out and you don't give in, they're like, oh crap. The next email they send out about summer camp, I better get on it. And guess what? The next email you send about the summer camp, the price has just increased by $10.
Correct.
And that's okay because they're going to buy it too. And that's what we've been doing across these months. Probably half of them are going to book up the spots here. So, you know, if you're interested about that, maybe Minh, can you share who do they contact if they have more information about this?
About our InCourage operational system.
That's right.
You will please email us systems@encouragemartialarts.com.
Stay tuned for part 2, Operations. Minh and Tu will break down a step-by-step playbook for building a high-performing summer camp. From planning themes and field trips to parent communication systems that boost enrollment and revenue.
Good afternoon. I am going to be joined today by the CEO of InCourage Martial Arts, Minh Wilson. First off, thank you for joining us. If you did not have a chance to see our previous webinar that we did, I believe a week and a half ago, I really highly recommend for you to go back and watch that. By the way, I love that William is on his bike getting a workout. I have a walking treadmill right here. So way to go, William. There you go, buddy. That's what I'm talking about. Let's see second in this webinar. Thanks for being on video and thanks for joining us, man. Glad that you're here. If you have not, Isaiah, welcome back. I see you, man. If you have not seen the previous webinar, I really recommend for you to watch that because it'll lead in very nicely into the webinar that we have here. We're going to get a couple of minutes for people to join before we kind of kick it off. I see Action Martial Arts is here. Lisa, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate you. Grace, hello. Welcome. Thank you. Good to see you. All right. Minh, good afternoon. How are you? How are you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful. Hi. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us.
Okay. Just to kind of kick it off, I want to give you a little update. Minh is the CEO of InCourage Martial Arts. She's been taking martial art classes with me ever since she was little as well. And the school has 5 company-owned locations. We did 5.5 million in gross sales last year, which is 2025, meaning each unit did about 1.1 million in sales, which is really incredible. So good job to you and the team again. The thing I love the most, and I always care about, is I don't care the number of girls, I don't care about number of students, I don't care how beautiful the facility looks. All of that is true in our business. What I do care at the top line is the net. Otherwise, we're running a nonprofit, right? Those of you guys listen to the Simple Profit podcast that I run, you guys know I'm really fixated on the actual net of the school. So that's really cool that we're running 30% there. We broke ground on our 6th location yesterday. So very excited. What are we projected to open that 6th one, Minh?
We are projected for March 1, April 1 timeframe.
Okay. So I'm really excited about this. I'm going to actually run a webinar and show you how we kind of set up the whole school from start. How do we market? How do we open it? And how do we get students in and take you live to the 6 locations? So I'll give some dates on that. And then our marketing team doesn't even know about that yet, but they're here. So yes, we'll have those webinars, Jacqueline. I think it'll be good for them. And then we do have 20 affiliate schools. My good friend, my mentor, Master Bill Clark from Carly America is there. Ed Sierfella in New York. We're happy to work with them. So a little bit background about InCourage Martial Arts if you don't know about the company. Today we're talking about summer camp. Take me through these numbers, Minh.
Absolutely. So to date, we have sold 1,745 weeks of camp for this coming summer 2026. That is 55% occupancy, so that we are 45% left to sell out. We've collected $563,000 to date.
And let me back that up real quick. How does registration compare to last year? Are we on track to our goal? Are we above? Like, where do you see our team? How does the team feel about these numbers?
We feel great. We are confident that we are going to be full for this summer. Our goal was to be 50% full by January 1st. And you can see we're right on target, a little bit higher The great thing is we're estimated to bring in $1.1 million in 9 weeks.
That has to change now because now you have a 6th location coming in. So we haven't really, and I think we are going to run summer camp for that school. So we'll kind of get to that. But take me back a little bit for those that weren't here. When do we start selling summer camps?
We start selling summer camps in July, the end of July. So last July of 2025, we opened up a 3-day sale for our pre-sale for this coming summer. And that's when we
Okay.
start.
Perfect. If you have not done so, it's not late. We used to do this in January, guys. We just kind of extended over time. Okay. So it's okay if you haven't started. Don't feel like you've missed the ball on this. Right now is a perfect time to start selling camps. And again, last webinar was all focused on sales and what we do. Today is kind of more operation because, for Minh and I, we believe that if you run, the best way to sell and market your camp is to run the best camp that you can have. And so I'm going to take you through what Minh and the team does, step 1 through 10 or whatever steps that they have. But let's talk about this first one. You told me that pre-preparation, this is the key to get data. And so take me through, what does this mean? Why do you do this right here? Like, what's the first thing that you do instead of sending out like, hey, buy camps? You don't do that. You send a survey to past campers.
Absolutely. It's extremely important that we know we have data from our campers and our parents and also our team. For our students, we're asking them, hey, what was your favorite field trip? What field trip do you have to see again next year? What field trip do you not want to go on? And also, is there anything that we didn't do that you would like to see added? And this is very important because the camps are made for the kids. If they want to come back and they are bothering their parents, you have to sign up. Their parents are going to sign them up. We ask our team. This is important because that's the execution piece. If there was a field trip that we went to that was just very hard to execute, or let's say the facility was unsafe, then we would probably not repeat it. So we take all this data from the campers, their parents, the team, and we compile it into a big list.
Perfect. So the goal is to get information on what worked and what did not. And Minh pointed out 2 things. Not only are you getting surveys to your past campers and parents to give you that information, but you're also asking your team. The 3 things that we focus on the most at InCourage, or if you ask anybody at InCourage, actually we may have 4 now. What's number 1, Minh?
The 4 S's is what
S's.
you're
That's
referring
correct.
to. Number 1, of course, is always going to be safety.
That's correct. So that's part of it, and making sure that we can have a very fun camp, a very cool camp, but it's not safe. Somebody gets hurt, it defeats the whole purpose. We don't want you to get that either, because we've heard news in martial arts or any other national news that something went wrong, and it just affects the whole industry, not just your school. So we want to make sure that you guys are running camp safe. So we get the data, and again, we have all of these surveys, we have all of these preparatory information that we can share through our program as well. Okay. So if you ask them like, what type of survey do you do? We have that information. We'll get to that towards the end. So after you get that, you say that then next we go to weekly theme. What does this mean?
This is every week of camp that we offer, we have a theme, and it's something that the kids love doing. Let's say it's Gamers Week. That's always a big thing. You have your Roblox, your Minecraft, all these things that are really attractive to kids. We theme the whole week out, and what we'll do is we'll collect this data. The themes that they want repeated, that we see like, hey, a majority of our campers are saying they want to see this again. Easy. That's the easy part for us.
That's in the survey, maybe.
Yes,
But
it's all
then-
in the survey. They rank it. We also get ideas from them as well. Like, hey, this could be another really fun theme for next year. So we'll come up with a list to establish of how many weeks are we offering, and what are the themes that are going to be connected to those weeks.
Perfect. Obviously, you focus on the demographic with your children, but you also told me, hey, we don't keep that in-house. You create the themes and you release it right away.
Absolutely.
Okay? Why do you see a big increase in registrations? And let's say you did this, maybe, when did we release this for InCourage, the themes?
We released our themes in October for our July release, which I told you is the pre-sale. That's the best prices they're going to get all year.
We lead with price on that.
We lead with price for our July sale. They know, hey, I'm going to book early because their camps are selling at $425 a week, but they're discounting it to, let's say, $299. That's going to make parents buy. The second release is the weekly themes, because this will get the group that did not buy.
Yeah.
This will get that second group to buy, because they're going to see, hey, these are the weeks that they have. My kids they want to go to these weeks, and I'm going to purchase those.
And these are like you're not your first movers who just focus on price. These are now like, no, I'm going to select certain weeks that I want to go to. So you're hitting a different demographic, which is great. Do you have some examples of what are some of the themes, maybe what we did last year, Min, to give people like, what does the theme look like, feel like? Maybe one, I don't know.
Yes, we actually have all of I told you we released our themes for this year, but I have a flyer from last year that I can share with everybody. So you can see this is a sample of our field trip calendar, and it shows you what themes that we have. So we have Camp Coconut, Mythical Creature Week. And again, our team comes up with this based on the kids. Mad Science Mania, Shipwrecked, Game Masters, and it shows exactly what weeks those are. And it also shows the field trips on the right side.
So to give you an idea of what this looks like from a marketing standpoint. And so you release the themes first. We don't do the field trips yet. We do the field trip planning after that.
Correct.
So you told me that, hey, we want to book this as soon as we can, no later than January, February, to get best pricing and priority. Take me through this with all those 20 years of doing camp. Why are we booking this early? What do we have to change?
We released the themes in October. After that, our themes are done. We know what we're running. Starting in October, that's when we start booking our field trips for the
So you
fall.
book in October. Wow. Okay.
Start booking in October. I say we will have a finalized list by February 1st because it takes some time to get in contact, get the dates you want, get the deposits. So by February 1st, everything is booked, but it does take quite a while to get all of those. And we are coordinating 5 locations. If you're at one location, it might go much faster. During this process, we also negotiate pricing with the field trip vendors. Most places now, like if you're going to your bounce house, they're charging $20 a kid to go to the trampoline park, at least where we are. For us, we negotiate down because we're not just bringing 5 kids or 10 kids. So the more you have and the more repeat you have, the more leverage you have to negotiate a lower price. So for us, we're able to stay between $12 a kid for these trips, which is a big discount when you multiply it by how many kids we are bringing to the vendors. It also
We got a couple of questions real quick. Nancy's asking, sorry, Vin, to jump in. What are the other threes? We'll get to that in a different webinar because we're going to focus on camps here. Ujala Baker is saying, what if this is your first year doing camps? Who do we survey? This is where we can really help you with that. Because if this is your first year running camp, okay. And also the field trip calendar also is a great way to continue to market camps, right? Because this jumps into the second part where you're saying, hey, we put out the themes and then some kids really enjoy certain parts of field trips. And so they will sign up for that week. So how do you use field trip as a secondary sales motion within your operations as you're doing this and tie it all in?
Absolutely. This is a bonus because this is not a marketing webinar, guys. It's operations, but you're getting some additional marketing strategies here. So July, pre-sale, best prices all year. That's solely based on pricing. October, you release your weekly themes. That gets your second batch that has not pulled the trigger yet. January, we just released our full field trip calendar for this coming year. That was released in January. That is the third piece to close everybody from last year who has not rebought, right? Now they're seeing the field trips. I told you it's finalized by February 1, but January, 80% of it is finalized. So we released the calendar with what is pretty much what we're doing with a little asterisk that says subject to change, right? But very little is going to change, but just gives the parents a heads up.
And we got a couple of questions. I know the CTU martial arts school. What if you want your school to be 100% martial arts focused? I'm going to get to that in a second, okay? We've done that. We tried that. And for us, it just simply doesn't work at InCourage. That doesn't mean it can't work for you. If you're really fully focused on training and things like that, different. But for us, we do a holistic camp with martial arts being in the middle, not with martial arts being every single minute of the camp. So that's a big difference there. Let's go next to decorations and crafts. This is really important. So just to recap, feedback, get data, figure out the themes, book your field trip. These are kind of like the big rocks. And now we're getting to the detail of the operations, the decorations and crafts. So Minh is saying this, hey, you're carefully curating this is your theme and your field trip. How important is this to tie everything in, right?
It is important. We've done this in the past where many years ago, we had themes. We've had themes for a long time. And they would come in and maybe we'll play a game or have a little lesson that associates with the theme. It didn't translate very well because we're saying this is the theme. So now starting at the get-go, when they walk through that door on Monday morning for camp check-in, they're walking into our location, but it's completely decked out for that theme there. So for instance, this is Mad Science Mania week. This is an internal plan that our locations get. And here we go. This is the decoration. So you'll see hanging on the ceilings, a little mad science stuff. We have things up on our M walls so they can really feel like, oh my goodness, we have a backdrop, we have science, these wall decors all over the place. And it really makes them feel like, okay, I'm in a science experiment. This is Mad Scientist Week. These decorations here are also all linked, which makes it easy for our team. We're trying to take as much planning and admin work off their shoulders as possible, because summer camp already, as you guys who are running it knows, it's a monster to run summer camp all day long, all summer long. So these link directly to Amazon or wherever they need to purchase it. And all they have to do is purchase and it gets delivered.
And it's important because you have some campers who maybe are your first time. And if you go I don't want to use the word that I'm thinking in my bed. If you go into it like 1 foot in and they come to your first week and they're like, oh, that was okay, they'll stop. But if this is their first time trying you and they're going to try you for 1 week, they come in and everything is fully decked out and the field trips are decoration, crafts and everything is there. They will have such a good experience that they'll actually buy additional camps from you. We see this a lot. The first 3 weeks of your camp are essential. You got to run that extremely well because that will set up the purchase for additional weeks as well as your future weeks if you're going to launch it in the summertime like us in July or August. So again, we got links from Amazon, how to decorate the studio. And again, the goal, like Minh said, is to make this easy for our team to simply execute and to not think and just execute. Especially, if you have not run camps before, this is kind of a luxury to have plans ready to go and years of experience behind you. So really kind of either work with Minh and our team or kind of work with somebody who's has experience in doing camps and doing them well. That's what I would recommend. All right, so we got decorations, we got crafts, we got field trips, we got themes. Now we go into the meat of the camp. This is where we do mat chats and martial arts class operations. Again, we curate this theme. Minh and the team does do this for the whole week. And we don't do this, like I said before, martial arts is the main focal point of our camp, but it is not every single minute of our camp. Our camp runs from what time to what time, Minh?
Our camps run from 8 to 6.
Kids can only do martial arts for so long. I don't know, even I can't even do martial arts for that long. And I love martial arts and I teach it. So just from our experience, it just doesn't work for us. You got to have variety. You got to have different things included in it. But every single game, every single activity, every single thing that you do, you tie the martial arts discipline into it. That's going to be your mat chats and the special theme of the week. This is a special sauce that keeps campers coming back. So Minh, do you have something that you can show? For example, I don't know, the math sciences or any other, how do you tie all of it in your martial arts and your mat chat? How do we do that at InCourage?
Sure. We're thinking, what does a mad scientist have to do with martial arts or a mat chat? I'll give you an example. Our team is wonderful, very creative at. This is a sample of a mat chat that we would do during camp. This is the weekly intro. All great scientists learn by asking questions, making mistakes, and trying again. So you can see it connects back to what we teach as martial artists. Welcome to class. Did you know that mistakes help us learn? We use this not just for our summer camp class. We use this in our regular evening classes as well. It translates very well. It makes it very simple for our instructors because they're not having to teach the summer camp one way and then go and then teach their evening classes another way.
So this is something that we're doing and InCourage is doing on a weekly basis. We have the after school program as well, guys. So in our traditional program, we use the same concept. So every week, every month, there's a different theme and there's a different focus. So that's how we really run our program and plan it out extremely well to go what we call beyond the mat.
This is very beneficial if you are, and I hope you are still running your evening martial arts program during the summer. It retains your students. They're coming in and they are on a weekly basis seeing different decorations, getting different messages. There's also an energy in there when you're running camps. It's fun. It's not as after school because they got to get their homework done. There's this summer, you can be more fun and just.
That's what kids want. Summer equates to fun for everybody.
Yes.
And so you don't want your camp being stale every single week. They're like, oh, do I have to go to camp? We don't want that. And that's how we get more weeks sold per member by doing it this way, by giving that variety, by giving different themes per week. Why is this such an important part that you brought up, where you say the math chats and the martial arts class? Why does this create, coupled with the themes and everything, such a high conversion rate from campers who are non-members?
Yes, because it gives them a taste of what our martial arts classes is like. Because they're in camps, they're getting the classes, they're getting the mat chats. And if they're loving it, they will translate very well right into evening classes or our after school program. Everything connects and is repeatable.
So that's really important there. And then this kind of sums up everything else is in between, the physical games and activities that we plan for the kids. This kind of fills out our summer camp plan. So you have your field trip, you have your martial arts class, and in between these, you have your summer camp operational plan. And I think, Minh, you may give us a glimpse of what that plan looks like a little bit from an hour basis. But this is the fun part of our camp, right? Everything else we've shown you so far is education. We talk about Matt Chat. We talk about Matt Scientist, the theme of the week and how it correlates. We talk about a martial arts class. What does physical game, arts and craft activities, how does it all translate in, Minh? I mean, it's a long day, 8 to 5, 8 to 6, right? From a normal parent.
Yes. So I'm going to take over a presentation so that I can give you guys a glimpse of what this might look like. So we have our seminars, this arts and crafts activity. You can see they're making a mad science robot, and our team is ready for that. Our feature game is Newton's first law, yoga ball, tiger dots, or cones, dodgeball. So it all is created and relates back to this mad science theme. Our team is very creative in that. Then you have Did You Know? Balloon pop relays, obstacle, and I guess it is all about force, pressure, and elasticity. So really, really fun things. And look at that, glow in the dark slime. Everybody loves slime. It's a little bit messy, but kids love it. And this is a sample of how everything kind of ties together to really make that theme so special.
And again, you're not competing against other martial arts schools for your camps. I want to repeat this. You are competing against other types of camps. Your STEM camps, your robotic camps, your coding camps, your science camps, your gymnastic camps, your dance camps. So having all of these different themes allow a parent, which when they work with us, they know who we are, they trust us, we know it's very safe, and they're like, I just want my child to be here. I need you to get my child to buy in to what you are selling. This is that buying part from the children that we get them. It's like, oh, okay, well, I want to go to the science camp. But wait a minute, InCourage also has a science camp. So maybe I go there. And that's how we get additional camp weeks with the theme while giving that variety. So something to really take a look at as you're doing that. The last part here is really important and something that I think most camps miss. And this is where I think our team does especially very well. The first impression is key, right? When someone registers, not once they walk in just to the door, when they register, you want to show families that you are organized and you're ready to go. And you've done this. When you walk into our school, you'll see like 10 or 15 plaques that says best summer camp in our area in Fairfax, because that's what we do. We've won that award over and over again, voted by Northern Virginia Magazine. So they know that. But the communications pre-camp, during camp, and post-camps are extremely important. If you have not done this, so you can automate all of this through MyStudio so that someone registers, an automatic email gets sent out, maybe included with maybe what they can see, what they can expect. Maybe 2 days before camp or the Friday before that Monday camp, we're sending out what they should expect. And then after the camp, what are the offers that you have? All of this should be automated and then within MyStudio for you. And our team has it. Minh, do you have some samples of some of the things that our team sends out comms wise?
Yes.
Because this is important. Yeah.
Absolutely. One thing that we've been working on at InCourage is this idea of operational transparency. So now that you guys can see how much time and effort it takes for us to plan, to come up with all of these plans, tie it into the theme, come up with the mat chat, get the decorations. It is hours and hours of work for our team, and just they're pouring themselves in. And what we realized is, the kids are having fun. Everything's hitting there, but there's something that's lost in translation to the parents, right? They know overall what the kids are doing. They see the decorations, and maybe their kids will tell them what they did. But I have 3 young kids, and sometimes I'll ask, hey, how was camp? And the answer I'll get is, it was good, right? But good doesn't capture everything that we're doing. So we said, hey, we want to come up with communication so that the parents can see the value that is being created and what their kids are doing, not just on social media, but from us pre, during, and post, just like Tu said. So this is one way. So these will get inputted into your MyStudio for you to update. But imagine before camp starts, you're getting this, right? Your kid's getting this the week before camp is mad scientist.
These are all templates that are in MyStudio that you created with the team in V2. Is that correct, Minh?
Yes, this is all created within MyStudio's V2 email template. And the great thing is it can all be duplicated as is into your MyStudio. And all you have to do is go and update the words or all the text is here, but you can go update it and make it very specific to your operations. But imagine this is just a really well done email that's getting sent pre so that your campers and your parents know it looks very professional. So this is a sample of one of the things that you'll get.
You want to show up like that. It's very important. With any professional companies that you think about, I don't know, let's say you stayed at the Four Seasons or whatnot, the way the staff works at the booking, during booking, at check-in and check-out, they want to make sure that they get the best experience, and you want to operate like that. How do you want to show up when kids come to your camp? Do you want to just run camp to just have something to do? Or do you actually want to run camp and have it a substantial part of your revenue? That's what we do. 1.1 million is a substantial part of revenue because we intentionally want to do it right.
In 9 weeks.
In 9 weeks. This is the magic here. And this is something that we've added. And this is really important for this awards and parent showcase. And this is how we get major registrations, guys, for summer camp start and how we close our camp with a bang. This is proprietary. I try to get Minh to share this. She says, no. So I said, come on. So what I want to say about this particular part is you have to have, without infringing on Minh's copyright here real quick and encourage, let me find the right word. Parents are dropping the kids off and they're going to work or they're going to take care of what they have to do. They don't see what the kids are doing, right? The best way to get parents buy-in for them to enroll them into your program is to actually show and get progress from the kids. How do you do that? That's something I want you guys to think about. How do you involve them and make it so special for them that maybe there's a Christmas concert that everybody comes to and they don't miss that? Something along those lines. And that's how we do it at InCourage. How do we get these trials, right? I think we have like over 1,000 trials in our InCourage system. How much did we spend across an organization that did 5.5 million in gross? How much did we spend on Google and Facebook ad?
I believe it was around 12,000. So our organization makes 5.5 million and we only spent 12,000. And that was just us testing, not really testing certain things, but we spend less than 1%, way less than 1% of our gross revenue on marketing. We market through lead gen events.
1% would be 55,000.
Oh yeah, way less.
So you spend about like 0.2% or something like that, which is nothing. So how do we get all these leads and trials into our school? How do you get over 1,000, I think it was 13, I'm looking at the number, 1,300 trials into our schools without spending money?
Lead generation events and partnerships with strategic partners like your local elementary schools.
So we have this playbook that is also inclusive of this. So whether it's not just summer camp. So if you're thinking this is just summer camp, it's different. It's the full InCourage operational system program, which is really important because if you're spending $1,000 or more to get leads per month, I mean, some of us are, I know that because we see that, we talk to a lot of people about that. This program will actually supplement that. And you can do a comparison, maybe like for 4 months to see, okay, I'm spending this much on ads. I'm also doing this whatever InCourage systems program. How are my trials looking from the both sides? And maybe both work and you're just getting more trials and more growth. So you got to do something that's different than you did last year if you want to have growth. That's what I mean from that. So at InCourage, we're doing quite a bit of things that are different to make sure that we stay on edge, and we're testing out Google ads and everything as well to make sure that we're there. But as you can see, overall, we don't really spend money on advertising. And because we rely on our camps, we rely on our birthday parties and other events that really bring in those trials in addition to that. Anything else, Minh, to share about operation before we jump into the questions here?
We've been in your shoes before, both Tu and I, running schools. So we understand how challenging it is, this time management of having to teach all the classes, pick up the kids from school. And it's taken us, close to 2 decades to present to you what you saw today. And what we want to do is to help other school owners make a beautiful life out of what you're doing. And that's why we decided to release this program at InCourage. We really just wanted to help everybody in the industry, but also to give a playbook from locations that are actually running. That's the differentiator of what makes this system different. I'm not someone who used to run a school. I am running 5 schools right now with a 6th opening up. We are doing it, and that's how our plans have evolved, and our marketing has been able to evolve over time to what you see today is because we're constantly changing it based on the demand of the customers. The way people are buying now is different than how they were buying 2 years ago, a year ago. What the kids like now is different than what they liked 6 months ago. And so you have to, if you're looking for a partner or if you're looking to get help with your operational systems or your marketing, I would just say find people that actually have schools and that are running these systems in their schools with data to back it up. And that's why we're here.
Perfect. All right. We got a couple of questions here. Lauren is asking, how are you advertising to get many attendees in the beginning stages of business? Later, obviously it's easier with word of mouth, but let's say the 6th school that we're opening right now. What are some top of mind things that you've done in the past for new schools that are opening to get these campers in, right? If I'm running camps for the first time, like how do I get people in?
This is a wonderful question because we're actually strategizing and doing right now for our 6th school. The biggest thing is know your demographic. So for us, it's 90% of our students are between the ages of 4 and 12 years old. Knowing that, where would we target? Elementary schools. That's exactly where kids between the ages of 4 and 12 are. So we create very strong partnerships with the elementary schools, especially the ones that are closest to our location that will provide after school care for. The other one is we really saturate. Well, we have multiple locations. So we have a brand and that we're known in the Northern Virginia area. So that works very well for us as well. But if you don't, I would say get in with your schools, do some type of partnership, something that it's a win-win situation for both of you guys, raise money for their PTA, go to the community events that are near you, figure out who your students are and where.
Maybe you have a PTA parent who's a member right now at your school that you didn't know about. So having those conversations, knowing your members is always good. I know we've had the president of PTA for elementary school as a parent, and they loved it. And so they always try to help us with that. But I will also say, if you're doing camps for the first time, market to your current students first. See how that goes. But I always start there. Now, if you give away shirts, do giveaways and things like that for camps?
We do not. We don't do any giveaways. However, we make it as convenient for the parents as possible. So instead of them signing up for a week of camp and then they have to buy this and then they have to pay for this field trip.
I was allergic to giving away free stuff.
So we try to make it. Yeah. And we charge for our belt testings as well. Once we have a little bit of a different strategy, but yes, we provide camp t-shirts with their enrollment. So let's say they enroll for 6 weeks, they'll get 2 camp t-shirts. They can buy additional, but our package says if they sign up for a week of camp, everything's included. So their field trip costs are included into that and the materials that they will need.
All right. So if you do summer camp all summer long, when do you have your classes?
We have it at the same time all year because people like to know and people don't like change. So our classes for our locations start around 4:45 or 5 o'clock and they go till 8 o'clock.
Same time. So because we have our after school program as well.
Yes.
Do you repeat the games during the week or different ones every day?
There are specific seminar games, the ones that I showcase that will run for seminars that are tied to the theme of the week. Of course, you always have your fan favorites like dodgeball that they always want to play. And we have a list of those games that are the kids' favorites that will repeat on a weekly basis.
What's your age group for the camps?
They need to be in kindergarten. So typically it's elementary age, kindergarten to 5th or 6th grade.
Okay.
We also have a leadership program for your middle school kids, which are great because they're older and they don't necessarily want to be a camper, but they're technically still a camper, yet they are in there helping and leading.
Okay. I know Shamila, you're asking how do we set up automations in MyStudio. I recommend reaching out to your customer success team. Action Martial Arts is asking, how do you handle field trip transportation?
We have buses. All of our locations have buses. We're all CDL driver certified. The reason why we chose to make the investment in the buses, it goes with that first S that we work on. I told you we had 4. The first one is safety. And just riding in a bus is much safer. The kids are higher off the ground. So if there's any impact, the car is not hitting right there. And then
It's also about 17 to 20,000 pounds.
yes,
Yeah,
yes. It's safe. And then it requires more work on us because our drivers have to be CDL certified, which is one of, I would say, our team's most unfavorite thing to do because it is such an intense process. However, at the end of it, any of our drivers we know, they're prepared because they're getting tested physically, they're getting tested intellectually, and they will know what to do in case of emergencies.
We don't focus on competition. Actually, let me take that back. We do our own internal competition now, which is pretty big. Only InCourage schools, I think we have, I don't know how many, I think we've rented the whole university now for internal competition.
Yes.
We've been to competition and we just felt like they weren't run to the best or didn't give the experience that we want. And so we have our own internal one. And staffing for summer camps, you always want to do at least 1 to 10. And we use our full-time instructors to staff the camps from morning to night. So we shift hours a little bit there for full-timers. We also have our after school coordinators who work with us throughout the year. They coordinate the camp. And then we have our students that are helping us, high school, returning college students. So across our whole team, we have about 120 staff members that staff doing summer camp for our 5 schools. So it's quite an operations when you do that.
Yes. And I'll add to that too. Our full-timers, if they work 40 hours a week, and that's what they work during the school year, they work 40 hours a week in the summer as well. When Tu said it's just shifted because now we're open earlier, right, till 8 p.m., they still keep the same total amount of hours.
And don't make your team come at 7 a.m. in the morning, go home at 12, and then come back at 5 and then leave at 9. They will quit and they will come to InCourage. I will tell you that right now. Because the moment you do that, you will lose your best staff. Don't do that. If you want to run a legitimate camp operations, literally have the same hours or shift their hours. Someone is going to be 8 to 4 at this point, and the other person's 12 to 8, right? And you hire that person to run it and do that right. But we can go in so much about staffing and everything like that. That's going to be within our InCourage Operations Pro Systems program. Thank you for everyone who already signed up. I'm excited. Minh and I will be kicking off those webinars to help you get started with that, as well as sending you plans to get you really geared for summer camp and beyond. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining today. Our next webinar is coming up the 17th of February. So we're really working on how do you remove administrative processes on that? If you have not registered for that webinar, I recommend for you to do that. Again, if you need set up with your account, automation, etc., please reach out to your customer success team. Thank you, everybody.